Okay guys, welcome back. This is part 2 to the Peugeot video, the Peugeot video in which I wired up, I installed a pump and wired it directly to the battery. Today, I'm going to show you how to wire in a AC to DC regulator. Remember, off your stator plate, whether it be a lay party, a power dynamo, treats CDI, for POOC, 12 volt points, it's AC coming off that stator. And to truly run things like LED lights without like the flicker, a pump, USB outlet, whatever you want. This is 12 volt. It's a consistent 12 volts. Do what you will with it. But I'm going to show you how to run the AC to DC rectifier regulator in line with a battery. So that means that even if you're at idle and the bike's not making a ton of power, you're going to be able to pull from the power of that battery to keep the thing running consistently. Charging your USB, running your pump, whatever. So the next part, it's going to be kind of technical. You're going to be right in there with me. I'm going to show you stripping every single wire. It's going to be a little slow, but I want you to see every bit. I don't want to be skipping around and jump cutting. I want you to see me connecting all the wires. And then after that, I'm going to show you a little bit of tuning on the bike. Yeah, you'll see. I did pretty well on it. I've already done this. I wanted to make sure it all worked before I filmed the intro. It was pretty cool. And then me and Steve did a little race at the end. I raced his fast Tomos, so it is a 70cc, 45 millimeter VM20, completely rebuilt, CDI with a curve, big MLM pipe. I think it's got a whatever, not the H95, it's a Tomos, the biggest one. So it's a fast bike. He does like mid 50s. But you'll see that I'm pretty close to him. It's actually really fun. I was super stoked on this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, that's all for now. Enjoy! Okay guys, we've got our Peugeot here. We're going to be wiring in this. This is an AC to DC converter, since most things run on DC. And your stator plate obviously makes AC, so we're going to be converting that to DC. And this is an input step down, so this should be a 12 volt AC, 12 volt output DC. So this is pretty simple to wire. I'm going to be doing this all right in front of you guys, and we're going to be hiding this in here. So I'm going to be running some wires to make that a little bit longer. So first off, you got your input and your ground. So this is our lighting coil coming off the lay party. It doesn't matter if this is the lay party, an MVT, 12 volt points. You just need your lighting coil. Now I put a little quick connector on this so that I could also run my lights, because I'm not going to worry about my lights right now. I'm just going to run my voltage regulator. Well, my AC to DC converter, so I can power the pump. Now I've also got the pump already kind of hooked up. You saw that in the last video. This is the positive. This is the negative. And right on here, positive, negative. So we're going to be running all this in line together. So first we need to get from here back here. So we're going to need two lines because we need to make a ground. One of these is a ground, one of these is going to be a positive. So I want to do this all in front of you here. Let's extend this wire. Now it is a good idea to stay consistent with colors, but I'm going to run everything in black wire just so I can hide it a little bit easier. This is just some, I think this is 16 gauge, generic 16 gauge wire. So we're going to line that up. There's our 16. Strip that bad boy. I cut some of these so that they'd be open, so that when I put it in here I can still use the other bits and bobs. Sometimes that can be a good idea. So we're going to crimp that. Oh, these are tight. They're real tight. I might be in trouble. might have to switch over to the smaller guys here. These are 1614s. Let's see if we need to run some smaller boys. We need to run smaller boys. These are 14s. So I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. So we're just going to crimp this back real quick. We are stripping the wire at 16. Now the connecty boy on. Okay, so this is our positive. So this is going to connect to our positive on here. So remember, in, ground, you can swap those, it doesn't matter. But we're going to use the first one. This is going to take our in from our lighting. So let's go ahead and strip that. Throw a connecty boy on there. That down there.
And it's also your personal supply of gold. Yep, yep. They're not big old. I like the big fat ones. I met them, I think in Philly.
Okay, so we've got, this is our in, and now we're going to make a ground. I got to find a good ground point on the outside of this frame. That's not a big deal. Probably run over there, do a ground. So let's. This guy back where you can see.
These ones.
Strippy boy there.
Parts, I guess.
That's already stripped.
When we do like certain boxes, we got to be converted. One being my only thing that I'm gonna point out is that you guys are getting the back plate. It comes with a great.
So we're making our ground right now. So we did a female on that side, so we need a male for this side. That all plugged in. Okay, we got our ground. Now, this is where the wiring is going to really start to matter. Okay, so we got this is coming off the lighting coil. That's our in. We got our ground over here. We'll ground that later. Right now, these matter. Yellow is positive, black is negative. So if we remember on here, we've got negative and positive. Now these are all going to connect back to the battery terminal here. So we're going to have to cut these off that were already on here from the last video. We're going to be redoing these. Remember, those were just a stopgap. Let's get these stripped. These are real tiny boys. So this is obviously quite simple, positive, negative. So these need to connect to our battery, and then they're going to come back to our positive and negative on here. So to do that, we're going to take some of these guys. That way we can connect it in multiple points. So we're going to put our positive on first. Cram that in there. We're going to do the same thing with our negative, because remember, these are going to need to be hooked into multiple points. You could tie these all together into individuals, but I kind of like these little guys, so that if I need to take it apart, I can just unplug everything. So here's our positive, here's our positive, right? So we know that one of these needs to slide into here, and one needs to go on top. Doesn't matter which we choose, but we're going to go with a male end for our negative here, or for our positive.
Well, you shouldn't have to really work with any current. You should be able to manage your own things with it, and then when you can't, that's when you do it. People could. Tim promised us some stuff, and look, like he got us.
We're just getting these open. Of course, I bought the closed kind, so it's kind of a pain for me, but that was my fault. Okay, so we got our positive. We're going to hook that up. Plug that into our positive terminal on our battery. Okay. Now, we've got our positive on here. This needs to connect to our positive on the battery. Positive over there, obviously. So we're going to need a female end for this. Oh, didn't get a very good crimp on there, huh? Give that a good squeeze. Oh my god. I am just not paying attention. Okay, we've kind of fucked this guy up. So we're going to strip that down a little further. Give that a little fold. Female end on there. Give that boy a crimp. Plug that in. So once we get this plugged in, these boys are tight. So now we've got our entire positive circuit ran, right? We've got the positive coming off of the pump, going to the positive on the battery. We've got the positive on our rectifier regulator. Remember, this is taking the AC current, turning it to DC, connected to our positive here. So that's taking the current that's coming off of the stator plate right here, and then it's running out our consistent 12 volt DC current. So we got a battery, so like low RPMs, that'll keep it from dying.
Okay, so you're just kind of.
And then we've got our power out to the battery. Now we got to do the exact same thing with the negative circuit. So we got our negative coming off of the pump that needs to connect to the negative of the battery. So we're going to do that first. That's going to be another male end, and we're going to have to cut off that little housing there. We're going to connect that to our negative. And we're going to plug that in to our negative. God, these fucking Chinese ass connectors. Coming off our battery. So we got our negative connected there. Now we just need to connect our negative here. Then our circuit will be complete.
This came off because it was fucked up. Or I had
So,
one stuck in
kind of
there.
dig that one up on the other side. So I'm going to just making sure we get a good connection here.
Yeah.
So we got a male end over there.
I mean, obviously the plate you
Need
want.
a female end on this side.
Right. You alright? You two look really tired.
So we're going to plug that in over here. Okay. So now we've got this whole shit show of wires connected. We just need to ground this guy right here. This needs to be grounded. So we're going to go to the other side for that. We're going to ground that.
Raving about it. Every night.
So let's get that stripped.
Rubbing one out. Rubbing one out to the sex, man.
Getting sacked.
We're going to make a ground point
Look, priceless art just
on the other
hit.
side.
That is, actually, it's really good.
I had this stacked in. Oh, sorry, Andy. I had this stacked in like plate thing. Like I made a bunch of these.
Should really be
Based off the VHS.
finding some
Like the movie covers.
connectors for this, but it doesn't matter. As long as we make ourselves a good ground, that's what really matters. Okay, I officially fucked that up.
Yeah. I can't even think of getting my fucking videos with my customers. You know? These are just, I have like,
We're going to ground this on the other side. We do that right now.
yeah, I would say I'm brought my whole stuff back.
I'm not gonna vacuum to you then.
Sorry, I'll be done.
You're good. I just
Thought about that. I love it. Stroke that chick. Intermission. Little present from Mars.
a bunch of random stuff on my shelf. I love it.
Okay, so we need to make a ground over here. We're going to go with the spot that the coil is grounded in stock.
I was like, didn't want to get
Oh no, this is what we got.
sick.
Oh here, have this. Because I think the other bigger, not really bigger, but a little bit bigger shot back, they say it's something. They say that fucking something's wrong with it, but there's no filter on the inside.
Gonna just make sure we're getting a good connection here. This is the stock ground point, so it should be fine. But we're not taking any chances. We're gonna get ourselves a good ground.
I broke something. The police were.
My wife bought it right now. I literally just put my hoodie up like this and put my helmet on.
They were like kicking people out.
I mean, that's my only ride. Stay warm.
Yeah, that's important. And that, my wife loves those.
Okay,
She wears. She is really all the time.
everything should be hooked up. We're gonna test the pump, see if it works. Pump works. Now I'm gonna hide all this wiring and in here mostly. So I'm gonna hide all the wiring and we're gonna take it outside, and when we run it now, this battery will be charged from the ignition system.
Okay, so you saw me wire everything up. I'm gonna start the bike. My headlight should work. I don't think the taillight bulbs are any good, but if the headlight works, that means I did the wiring proper for my lighting system. Once I start it, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna turn the pump on. So we're gonna see if everything works in tandem. I wired my lights properly. As you can see, there's no liquid flowing through there right now. The thermo process is heating up to do its thing. So let's kickstart that with a little bit of electricity. And boom! You heard the draw in the system. If you noticed, the RPMs dropped a hair, which means the pump is drawing from the stator plate, which is good. And thanks to my fancy line here, we can also tell that it's still moving. So I'm going to turn this pump off. I'm going to let this thing get a little warm. I'm going to grab a helmet and do a speed test. So I'll start this off so you can see. This bike did 38 before with the same cylinder, the worst pipe, and 15 shot. So, for everything you saw in the last video, just to recap, Doppler pipe, 19 PHPG. I got it jetted at an 85. I drove a full two-stroke atomizer. I'm trying to get this all out before the sirens come. I can hear them coming down the street. I was running 78 last time and it was getting a little hot. So, let me kick this GPS on. We're going to see what this thing can do. I'm going to make a safe bet. I'm going to say 45. So 0 miles an hour. See what it looks like when I come back. Wire a kill switch. Alright, now Steve can attest, he's behind the camera here. I ran into a car that was going the speed limit, which has never happened before. So I didn't get a very good rip down. It got a little warm, got to 302 on the way back. I had to use the choke, but like as soon as I left the throttle, it was down to like 200. It felt slow. So let's see what we got. Not bad. 43. I think something is going on that is not allowing the motor to fully variate. So I've got to see what's going on with that. And I got an 85 jet in there now. I'm probably going to up to like an 87, 88. I think that'll probably get me where I wanted. My needle felt good. I was able to run like between 200 and like 230 on my needle, so that was pretty cool. The goal with a liquid cooled setup is to keep your head temps at or below 300 degrees because your liquid temp typically runs 50 to 80 degrees cooler than your cylinder head temp, so I'm told. And that would mean that I'm not boiling. If it were water, it's got a higher boiling point because it is 50-50 mix, but still, we'll see. Okay, so we're going to try this again. Oh, I got an advertisement. I don't want to go to New Zealand. Steve, in his mechanical wisdom, noticed I've got the carburetor a little sideways, and if you run a Peugeot, you know that's an attempt to make sure the top of the carburetor doesn't smack into the frame. Delordo has started doing these really nice twist off tops. It raises the top of the carb like 2 inches. That can be problematic on these French bikes. So I had the carb tilted sideways so that it wouldn't hit the cap on the frame. However, in doing so, the bottom left-hand corner of the carburetor of the bowl actually hit the frame, which didn't allow the motor to variate. Probably I got an extra maybe inch or two of variation, which should be enough because I was very, very close I could see when I'm looking out of my belt, it was almost riding on the top of the ER3. Now, I am running a Plini spring right now with no engine tension spring. Got an ER3 on there with 2 5G weights and 2 of the lightest weights. So I've probably got like 12 G's on each arm. So total of like 24 grams right now. I have found that I need to go heavier on these ER3s. So men with small penises, what are you gonna do? So I'm resetting my GPS, 0 miles an hour. I got 43 last time. I am hoping, I'm not gonna change any of my carburetor settings. I'm hoping that I get 45. Steve's saying 47. We'll see. We'll let that seat go this time. Kill switch is next. Had a car get in my way again. Got a little hot. Think I'm still hitting the frame. Now I'm hitting on the top. But let's see what we did. Steve, what was your number?
47.
47. It's not too bad out of 50 cc's. I'm gonna play with this cable a little bit, see if I can drop that top of the cable down a hair, and maybe I'll do one more run. I'm also going to upjet because I got up to 325. That's too high. Alright, so I removed the top of the carburetor, dropped it down, so I'm getting a little bit more, just a little bit more swing on the motor. It's not hitting anymore, the motor's bottoming out, so that's good. I updated to an 87 from an 85. I wanted to run like a 90, but I didn't have any. My smallest 90 jet was a 93, so might still get a little bit warm, but that's okay. I put a kill switch in, so we're gonna see if I wired it in the right way. So let's, we got 0 miles an hour here. Let's go see if we can do some 50-50s. I'll make sure this works this time, because it didn't work on my first pull last time. 1 mile an hour.
And there goes Andy, now that he's fixed his permanent kill switch.
Thought my pump wasn't working for a second. I think I broke it. I broke 50. I think I broke 50. No, my GPS wasn't working. God damn it. Alright, let's try it again. Go again! Go again! I don't know.
Let's see it.
48. Not gonna complain about that. I was really kind of hoping for that 50. I need a 90 jet. But 48 on a stock cylinder. Where's Jared? Yeah, okay, well, 48 miles an hour, it's not bad. Again, just a reminder of my setup, Technics cases, Artec crank, that is a actual stock cylinder, it's a late model liquid cooled stock cylinder. 19 PHPG, jetted in 87, W7 needle with the clip in the middle, which I'm doing great on the needle. My acceleration is phenomenal, my idles are 45, crushing it. Definitely need a 90. When I'm holding it wide open, I get to like 380 or 285 and it starts creeping. So I think a 90 will be fine when I go find one. Got a ER3 on here with 22 grams on the arms. Clutch pulley, I'm using stock springs out of a Minarelli V1 for my tension springs. Got a Molosi belts. My gearing is stock 1156. Lay party, timed at 1.3 millimeters for TDC, so a little bit on the retarded side. A little bit closer to stock, actually. This is a clone of a Bosch pump. It's a 12 volt. I've got my battery hidden in here still. My rectifier on that side. 48 on 50. This close. Pretty good.